This is Bolt. Bolt said that everyone needs to donate right now, and if you don't, he will be very sad. He cries sometimes thinking that people don't donate. You need to prove him wrong. Hi, my name is Aaron. I'm part of the Little Victories Shelter Fund. We are donating supplies and food to the local Little Victory shelter. I'm part of the group called Paw Patrol. I am handling the introduction. Connor is handling the needs. Carson is going through logistics, feasibility, and marketing. Reagan is actually doing the interview, and Ethan is wrapping the whole spiel up. We chose to plan an event for Little Victories Animal Rescue to gather food and supplies for these animals in the no-kill shelter. People that do not know what a no-kill shelter is, that is where shelters do not euthanize the animals there. Stephanie Howe, the director of Little Victories, has stated that there's approximately 50 dogs and 30 cats within the confines of the Animal Rescue Center.
According to the American Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, approximately 6.3 million companion animals enter U.S. animal shelters nationwide every year. Of that number, 3.1 million are dogs, 3.2 are cats. These staggering figures highlight the immense need for support and resources to care for these animals, many of whom are abandoned, lost, or surrendered by their owners. Stephanie Howe works tirelessly with these animals. She receives no financial assistance from state, government, city, or national funds to help support these animals. Everything that these animals in Little Victory receives are either funded or donated by local people around the community. To every meal, medical treatment, and comfort item is made possible by the donation of generous supporters and the organization itself. Little Victories is a sanctuary for these animals, and it really gives them the help they need. The organization relies heavy on community support. Every meal is donated, funded, or given by people around the community. The community really helps this mission of rehabilitating, rescuing, and rehoming these animals in needs. Without the support, many animals would face uncertainty in the future with limited access to the care and help they really need. So that we come together to help Little Victories in this supply drive. By donating essential items such as food, pet supplies, cleaning supplies, medical supplies, we can really make a difference in the lives of these animals. Every contribution, no matter how big or how small, can really help these animals ensure that Little Victories can continue to provide the necessary supplies for these animals in their everyday life. Participation in this drive not only helps us, but also helps all the animals affected by this sad, sad story. Together, we can help the burden on these shelters and give countless dogs and cats the home they deserve. Let's show our compassion and commitment by giving unwavering support to these animals and making a positive impact on the lives of these vulnerable animals.
Alrighty, I'm here with Stephanie Howe, director at Little Victories. Stephanie, do you care to tell me a little bit about your journey here at Little Victories?
I have been the executive director for 7 years, and my responsibility is pretty much to raise money. That is my goal. It's about $1,600 a day to run the farm, so I am responsible for raising money. We don't get any government funding, so it comes from the community. So in order to bring attention to our upcoming events, we do a lot of social media, Facebook and Instagram. We do flyers around the community, and just the normal type of publicity that you would normally do. Being organized is a huge part of a successful event. It starts, down at the bottom. You start organizing by, what community asks are you going to do, who's going to be involved. Events require volunteers, so you start on different levels. So there's different levels of organization, but I've been doing events for 20 years, so at this point it's secondhand. But for somebody like you who would just be starting to do an event, what I would recommend is make a chart, make a list. I'm old-fashioned, write it down on a piece of paper, use your phone, but list out what needs to be done and in what order. And you have to prioritize. As you do events, you'll learn six months out, we need to start doing this, and then you do it by month down to the weeks to the days. So organization is key to having a successful event. What I do is I go out into the community and ask for sponsorships. So we've got the event coming up that's Run for the Roses, and I've gone to local community businesses and asked them to be different level sponsors. Not everybody can afford $1,200, but they might be able to afford $300. So we make sure there's different levels to accommodate everybody's ability to do that. It's just figuring out who you want to target what fits in that time frame. You know, if you're going to do it in August or September, football's a good thing. So you just have to know your audience, know the time of year, and has it been done before? You know, you don't want to repeat other nonprofits fundraising events. You want to kind of make it your own. So it's just how much you can raise. That's my goal. So the attendance, I want attendance because if people are there, that's more people that will buy raffle tickets, you know, that kind of thing. But success is, you know, reaching your goal, your financial goal for me. And you have to be creative, you know, and when you do an event, you want to spend as little money as possible.
My name is Carson Mayers, and I'm going to be talking about all of the logistics and little details that went into planning our event. According to the book, Communications in Small Groups, innovation is described as a 4-step process. Idea generation, feasibility analysis, reality check, and implementation. Following these steps was extremely important in making sure that we didn't forget any of the small details that go into planning an event. The first thing that we needed to do was get into contact with the director of Little Victories, Stephanie Howell. Our facilitator, Reagan, knows her personally, so doing so was very easy. Once we had her permission to do an interview, we asked her what items were needed the most. We then had to decide when we were going to take donations and where we would put up donation boxes. We decided on Oscar's Breakfast, Burgers, and Breweries, as well as Huntington High. Once we had our event planned out, the next thing to do was market it. We'd like to thank Little Victories and Stephanie Howell for their help in completing our project. The final step in our event was to market everything. This is where we really got to let our creative side out. The Communications in Small Groups book defines creativity as the generation, combination, application, and extension of new ideas. We decided to create flyers. It's very important for flyers to be as visually appealing as possible, so being super creative with this step was very beneficial to us. We posted these flyers on our social media accounts and asked friends and family to share them. We also posted flyers at Oscar's Breakfast, Burgers, and Breweries, as well as Huntington High, where we had our donation boxes set up.
The team is incredibly grateful for the opportunity to support Little Victories Animal Rescue Shelter. This step provides a safe haven for over 80 cats and dogs. Through this event, not only have we gathered much needed food and supplies, but also raised awareness of the critical role that donations play in sustaining no-kill shelters like Little Victories. Together we've taken meaningful steps such as organizing, promoting, and executing. This drive to make a difference in the lives of these animals. Thank you to everyone who contributed, and Stephanie Howe for sharing her passion and insights. Continue to work together to support the animals in our community and beyond.
Thanks for watching!